Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weekly Rewind. This is for Clan NeSw, and on the top right we have Morrok, which is our clan member. Super cool guy. And on the bottom left is the evil opponent who's Protoss. No one really cares about his name, but if you care about his name, it is Silent Play. So obviously he's very quiet when he plays, and when he gets mad, he probably just whispers very loudly. So, without further ado, this is Provis, and my commentator and caster here is Morrok, and this is the first replay of the day that we're going to look over, and it's Morrok the caster, and Morrok's the first replay he sent in. So let's take a look at it.
Alright, and also if you notice, this is a guy on Team Elite, and they're currently a team that we're playing against in the UASL. So we just had a little bit of a small chat about our clans, but...
So apparently Team Elite fights all the time.
all the time.
And this guy must fight very quietly. Because he's silent. Yes, he's very, very quiet. So let's see here. Blah, 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 boring, boring. Okay, we have pool, then hatch for Morrok. On the bottom left, we have, it's looking, is he going to be a greedy toss?
Looks like it. You
What's
see that
going
early
on?
pylon. So now, at this point, I was planning on doing a proxy hatch. So when I saw that probe coming around, it kind of scared me for a second because I thought he was like scouting around for a proxy hatch or something. But tried to kind of hide, fake that I was leaving or something. And then I go ahead.
Proxy
Proxy hatch.
hatch. And I like where you did it, because a lot of people will put the hatch in plain view and just say, come and kill me. But you're being very sneaky here. He's putting the forge down. Now, I'm actually really surprised because he saw you in your base and he didn't see you leave. So,
Yeah, sometimes Protoss players just don't even, care about that kind of stuff. And so what I did here is I tried to force him to put a pylon down and leave, because some Protoss players will do that, and then they just think that you couldn't take your natural, but really you don't want to take this natural because you don't have enough money for that. But I have my roach horn going down, and then this hatch will pop up here soon, and so once this pops up, he's going to see the creeps, so we're going to see what he does in reaction to that.
So you're going to make a drone and a queen and make a spine crawler?
Just going to make roaches at this point.
Roaches?
Yeah.
I like it when it's BM when you make that. Yeah, I do. I'm just saying.
I did that my last game, but
spine crawlers. Spine crawlers are so much more fun.
I would do that, but then I can't really kill any probes or anything. So now here is the second proxy hatch. Oh yeah, look at that. So he pulled all of his probes, and then unfortunately for me, I didn't really pay attention here, and he gets a nice surround on my two roaches, which is not the best thing, but
No, it's perfect. This is the wrong play by the toss. What the toss should be doing is getting gas really quick so he gets mothership core up.
yeah.
And then what he should have done before you spread out creep is just block that top.
Block the ramp, yeah.
Yeah,
do something. Just put like cannons up here, yeah, right away.
Yeah,
because that doesn't
allow
me. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to get down there.
Yeah, and then it's not so bad because you're on one base, he's on one base.
Yep.
But this is not the way you handle a proxy hatch.
Nope.
Well, unless you like dying.
So I killed that pylon up here so I get the high ground advantage. So now this hatchery out here, I can make roaches out here and use that
he's
to...
dead.
Oh yeah.
It's over now. I mean, his fatal mistake was if you're gonna just kind of passively ignore it, you need to go fast. Mothership core, block the top of the ramp, and make a fast Stargate. You'll be amazed at what a Zealot and a Void Ray can do.
So he's lost a total of 14 workers at this point. So I'm pretty far ahead on workers, and I haven't made workers since the beginning of the game. It's kind of funny. So yeah. If he was able to hold this off properly, I would have needed to macro. I actually did that my last game that I played. It was pretty fun. So I sent a few roaches to pick off the Nexus here. And then he's going to send some stalkers up. I get the Nexus, and then I'll be able to kill 2 stalkers off too. For
Terrible
4
micro.
roaches.
He finally starts to focus down that other weak one.
Yep.
Oh no, why did you do that? Just go to your cannon. Sorry, I'm a
Yep.
caster and a fan of the game. So so you'll hear me like
It wasn't quite the
sometimes like
best trade for him, but
casting, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, no,
why?
don't.
Why?
Why, God, why? So a little emotional. That was like when I was watching the finals in Korea, and the last game, and it was an epic game. He lost. We lost 4-0 to oh, what's his name? I want to say Imagination, but that's not it.
Wait, so to innovation?
Innovation.
Innovation.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
We
Provis.
SOS was playing. He lost 4-0, but the last game was so epic.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game.
SOS went High Templar and
Mass Tempest. It was pretty.
Mass Tempest. Yeah, it was. Did
It
you
was
watch
really
that game?
cool. Yeah, I did, and it only works really well on that map, but it was a really close game. Innovation did play pretty well.
See,
Unfortunately, the
this is
whole
where. Sorry, this is where it really irks me. Had he gotten that mothership core even after the fact,
would have helped
you
him quite a
know,
bit. I mean,
it would have helped him a lot.
I need to have a few more queens with that. If you would have done that, like 2 to 3 queens, and I could have sniped off the mothership core. But that
Yeah.
photon overcharge really just buys time.
Exactly. And then again, like I said, you want to go fast Stargate because there's no high tech there that's going to be able to hit air at the very beginning of the game. So if you get one Stargate out and chrono out like one Void Ray, all you have to deal with is queens. A Mothership Core and a Void Ray will take out a queen, and there's nothing at that point to stop it. So off to the next game.
Yep. All right. So this is going to be Provis's game that he sent in.
Oh, okay, I remember this one. Now, this is not Team Root. This is just a gentleman who is a mod for Root Minigun, and that's why he calls himself Root Big Gun, as I find out from the chat. Now, this build is a really cool build against Terran, and I totally copied it from WCS. So not only do I get to enjoy watching professional games, but once in a while I can steal their stuff.
Yep.
So on the top right is Root Big Gun. He's just a mod for Minigun Stream. And on the top left is the gorgeous, handsome Protoss player, Provis. Here he's a great, great guy. Everyone just loves him.
Oh my goodness.
Right, Morrok?
Yep, pretty much. That sums it up.
You pretty much worship him. I hear he's, very
I don't know if I'd go that far, but you see this beautiful pattern, some StarCraft 2 art here. That it's like, oh, you just decided to ruin it. It was
This
looking
is
pretty
so greedy. I still can't believe this is Meyer. This map is really close from start to beginning.
Going
And to
command
go-
center first.
Yeah, I mean this is suicide to begin. Even if I had just four gated, this would not have been good for him. Even with a bunker too, with a proper force fielding, he still would have lost.
Yep, and
So-
here comes the mothership core and a stalker.
Yeah, this is a very interesting build. It's a 8 pylon, 8 gate, 8 gas. Then you start chroning out two probes, and then you start chronoing out your troops, your mothership core, and it's just very, very quick because those 3 units is actually very deadly to a early Terran, just because they can only make one Marine at a time through their barracks, and typically at 4 minutes they have 1, maybe 2 barracks. So if you
Yep.
kill off the initial army, there's really nothing to stop you. So he's gonna go, and he knows that there's some aggression coming. He's got the 2 bunkers, but
And this would be good on like a longer rush distance map, but on this map that response is not going to be the best. Does look like he's going to get a bunker up in time.
yeah, but there's so few Marines. The DPS is so little. You just walk on by them. I mean,
Yep.
it really, really is not a lot. I mean, if you have 2 stalkers, a zealot, and a mothership core, you're gonna, oh, wasn't that great use of a time? I just thought that was pretty awesome. I actually thought he was going to go and try to surround, which I think would have been the better move,
That
to
would
be
have been a pretty good
honest.
move. I mean, the Zealot would probably get quite a few kills, but he'd be able to take off the Stalkers and fortify his defense a little bit. But he's
Well,
gonna try
he's
to wall
got
off here.
command centers. He's got 2 command centers. So you know what? I would sacrifice those any day to take out that initial army because then your bunkers can get filled. And see, now it's too late. It's just now there's really great areas where you can, hide behind the mineral line.
Yep, and you've already killed 12 workers, and he's just now killed 1 unit of yours. One Stalker. Does look like your Mothership core is gonna go down, unfortunately, but those build really fast, so. I mean, killing 18 SCVs for 2 Stalkers, a Zealot, and a Mothership core, that's a pretty good trade.
If we look at the units lost, it's pretty telling. 22 versus 4.
Yep.
And
Walk that Stalker right by, and he is down to 3 SCVs at this point. Make that 2. Right, he's Darren, so he does have mules, which do help quite a bit,
but even this mule's going down.
Yep.
So
We're gonna
he's
see
just
what
waiting.
Provis is doing to follow up here. 3 more gateways going down.
I figure it's time for the kill.
Yep. I mean, when you're in a position like this, I mean, you can either macro up because you should be ahead and harvest their count and everything, or you can just go and kill them off.
Would you say 17-3 is a pretty good? 18-3
You
probe
know,
versus SCV's pretty good
versus
advantage.
Terran, you never know. I mean, a mule is worth like 10 workers, so.
He's got 2 of them going right now. So like if we go to the income tab,
19 to 25.
Yeah, I know literally, if we go to the income tag, it's 520. He's beating me right now.
Yeah, and minerals, yeah.
And he's got 5 to
And he's
20.
just making Marines, so I mean, he doesn't need gas. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I mean,
it's kind of funny, isn't it? I mean, so what you need to do, that's why if you ever talk to someone that's really good against Terran, you'll realize that the long term, you want to take out the barracks, you want to take out the production, because Terran has so many ways of getting mining minerals with the mules. If he had 4 command centers, he could have 0 mules and or 0 SCVs, and just off the mules be producing as much as a full base of mine.
But late game, like in a ZVT or something, it's always important to go for the expansions, though. Just because killing off the production buildings, like if you have Ultralisks or something, it's really efficient engagement for the Terran player, so the only way to kill him is to kill all of his expansions. Because even if he does have mules, if you don't let him expand, all of his minerals will be mined out, and he won't have any income, so. But early game, it's definitely important to go out, or, kill some SCVs, but also you want to stop his production as well.
So this is actually, like, if you look at this, you think army size, well, I have a huge advantage, but those bunkers are just, everything about Terran is for turtling. So if I had taken that head on, I probably would have broke it, but it would have been an even trade. Like, in even, I mean all of my army for his bunkers.
And see, he just has a bunch of bunkers back here, so he can do some bunker hopping as well.
Exactly. He still doesn't think he has enough. He knows I'm being very aggressive. He's worried, but he's already caught up in production. Now, granted, I've decided to stay on one base. I'm saying, you know what? I'm just going to end this right now. I don't think he can stop me if I just take him out. And there's no way that he made all these bunkers down here as well, because he has to focus on production. 2 barracks isn't enough.
2 barracks. Yep. And see, he could have more barracks now, but he chose to build those bunkers. So I feel like that wasn't quite the best choice. The factory is just now going down at 11 minutes, an 11-minute factory. But he keeps scanning here to see if you have an expansion, but I would just use mules and just send a marine out like he's doing right now. Because with the amount of workers he has now, mules are like more important than ever. So now he's kind of stuck in a rough spot. So now using
all his SCVs he was making.
Yep, back down to 16 SCVs. And now he's getting in a pretty bad engagement spot here. I mean, I would just lift my buildings off and try to get into a better spot. If you got some force fields behind there and stop them from getting into bunkers, I mean, put them in a pretty tough spot. You're just gonna keep warping in behind this.
Well, production is the most important thing,
And then you
and he doesn't
have
have any.
now you have that mothership core, so even if it's gonna die, it's still really good because all these marines just went up onto the high ground and out of position.
Yep, except for I should have used my time warp.
Yep, but so now he doesn't have nearly as much, but he is gonna do some bunker hopping. Kind of smart idea, but it's not enough. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's pretty
Provis
much over.
still four gating, one base.
It's only for 15 minutes in the game. Why do I need to do anything else?
Wouldn't mind picking up one kill on a SCV there, and game over. No GG though.
No GG, and you don't have to keep watching. It's just me killing every building for spite.
Alright, and also if you're interested in joining our team, you can contact us through our website on the contact page, or you can message me in game. And my name is Morrok, and my character code is 194. Morrok. Alright. Go ahead and load up this next game. And those of you who are doing your placement matches today, if you've gotten demoted, apparently the Muslim also got demoted to Diamond, so you're not the only one.
The Muslim got demoted to Diamond?
Apparently that's what somebody claims, so.
They must have changed everything up a little bit. I mean, is there any announcements from
From
anyone?
Blizzard? I don't think so, not at this point. So in the top left-hand corner we have our player Rice, and in the bottom right-hand corner we have Gen Sokyo, the Terran player. The blue Terran. So this map is Whirlwind, and it's known for its long rush distances, and can be you can spot in any spot too. So it's not like cross positions only.
Great map if you want to do a hidden third and
Yep.
just kind of meta the game, where they think they have a lead because they're on 3 and they see you on 2. So it's kind of a neat little play. Plus, then when you take your third, your natural third, there'll be minerals there, which is closer to all your defense later in the game if you can get
Yep.
away with that.
You notice the Terran is going to be a little bit greedy at this point. Looks like he's going to go for a command center first. So, and whenever I play against command center first, I generally just go and do a banding bust versus the Terran, and it doesn't generally work out very well for them.
The other option, of course, if you scout it quick enough, is you can go double hatch before pool.
Yep.
The problem is that this map is so big that by the time you scout it, you've already made your decision. That's why I like sometimes just taking a risk
Yeah.
on a map like this, especially like Toss. Toss almost never goes Nexus first, especially against non-Zerg races, whether it's Terran or Toss. But I find that on a map like this, you can get away with it as
Yeah.
long as you play a defensive stance, and you will have a huge economic advantage. Because what happens is by the time it's scouted, even if they put their Nexus down right away, they're going to be at a disadvantage. So they're going to feel compelled to all in you. And with the mothership core and a couple cannons and some well-placed units and force fields, it's very hard to take that natural
Yep.
away from the person that's holding it.
Unless you get like 10 pulled or 6 pulled. This is what a lot of people do on this map, but it's very, very, very hard sometimes to be able to scout the correct base you need to go to in time. So,
And that's why I actually like if you're gonna go risky like that, then play it safe behind it. So in other words, go if you go Nexus first, go Nexus second pylon, then Forge, then Cannon, then Gateway. It'll stop all the pools. Um, Even a six pool, they got to find you first,
Yeah.
and and
And
even if
sometimes people
and
get lucky, but
yeah, they do. But then you can pull your, if as long as you get the cannon started and you pull your probe line, you're not going to be that far behind because a six
yeah.
pool, you're actually very, very far behind in the macro game. So as
Yep.
long as you can micro your probes properly, wait for that cannon to finish, you can go back to mining and creating double probes and chrono. So um,
You're gonna notice Rice, he just got enough for speed and pulled out of gas at this point. So he's been making a lot of drones. So we're gonna see what he does. Um, see, has he even scouted? He hasn't scouted the Terran base at all whatsoever.
I don't know if I like this unless he's going to create another. If he's going to move his, if he's not going to keep him in gas, he needs to transfer because the optimum amount is 16.
16, yep.
So anytime you have over that, you're not as efficient, especially when you have your natural right there that's undersaturated. It's only got 6. So just something to think about. Those numbers are really nice there. So if you see 20, pull forward to the other base. You'll actually get more income that like 20 and 6 actually makes less income than if you had 16 and 10. It sounds weird, but it's true.
Yep, and you can even, like, even if you do have 16, it's still even better to take some of those 16 and send them over. 'Cause it takes a while for the drones to, like, get in a nice path where they don't get blocked by other drones. Um, you're gonna notice another gas geyser coming up, and he did put back into gas.
I'm
For some
just
reason.
amazed that the Terran player here is not walled off already.
Nope, and he only
Um,
has one SCV out, so he Rice didn't even need a Baneling Nest or anything this game. Didn't even need a Baneling Bust. At this point, trying to make those SCVs attack is probably one of the worst moves. Just try to send them and put them at this natural and try to defend with your bunker, but I mean, it's just you're not going to kill very many of these Zerglings. Some nice BM by the opponent.
yeah, especially when he didn't even wall off. So, all right, on to the next game.
Yep. All right. All right. Give me a second here. All right. We're loading up this next game here. So this is a game that our team leader BunnySlayer played.
Interesting fact: BunnySlayer is also a member of PETA.
Is he really? I did not
No,
know
I
that.
just
Oh,
made
okay. I
that up.
was gonna
Just
say
figured, it would be ironic.
a little bit off base. All right. So in the bottom right hand corner we have Antilles, the red Protoss. In the top left corner we have NeSw BunnySlayer, the blue Zerg.
No response from
No,
Bunny.
no
He's
response.
concentrating.
Concentrating too hard.
He's yeah. He can't answer that typing and playing
Typing it
stuff. That's
just
for amateurs.
yeah, it really throws you off. I mean, even when you're not doing anything, it's always important to be spamming the micro. It's a it's a key in winning games nowadays.
You know what I think is a key to winning games nowadays?
What?
Playing better than your opponent.
That's a pretty good one too. But I mean, like, the faster you select your drones, the more minerals you make. I heard, and the more times you press D, SD, 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 the quicker your drones come too. They build faster. So
Nah, that's just urban myth. You can wait 5 seconds and then do SD each time. I'm sure it won't matter.
You gotta spam. Alright, so we're gonna see that the Protoss, looking like they're gonna go for a fast expand here. Looks like Bunny is also going for one too, sending the 2 drones in order to deny the probe from blocking anything. A lot of Protoss just put down a pylon like Provis. I mean, he'll just go and put a pylon at every single base you own, and
Yeah, that Bunny doesn't like that very much. He might just
no,
quit
he might.
if you if you do that. He's very protective of his natural and his third. And if you mess with it, he just might rage on you.
Yep.
But that's just what I hear. So I
It might be another
actually,
urban myth, but possibly not.
I kind of wish he. This is Belster Vistage, and I really think that um, you should drone scout because a lot of times if you could go out here, you get a lot more information. By the time, let's say that he went Nexus first, which he did. You would have been a lot better off knowing that sooner with a drone because you could have
Gone.
blocked it. You could have put a proxy hatch in his natural. I mean, you could do a lot of things to mess with your opponent, and I'm really big on that because we're all creatures of habit. And so, like for me, I have certain build orders, and if someone harasses me and it throws my build order off, it's a good chance that that's going to be an advantage for my opponent. So I especially like to do that to players. It's very hard to do against Terran, but Zerg, since
It's
they're one of the more greedier races, it's very easy to do that
yeah.
too.
And so as there, a lot of you who have been like reading Reddit and stuff, Team Liquid, probably heard of Katz's hatch block, his counter against CC first Terrans who build the command center up on the high ground. So he always tries to block it with the hatch down here, and then get some creep tumors down with the queen, so that the Terran player cannot expand there, and it generally gives the Zerg player pretty big advantage. He also does against Protoss too. Like in this scenario, if your opponent gets a forge before the Nexus, you can just go and put a hatchery there as well. Even if he kills the hatchery, a lot of the times it's still worth it, just because a hatchery is so cheap. And then it spreads the creep, and it has to take a while for the creep to reseed as well.
And if you're Protoss and someone does that to you, take your third right away, chrono out a zealot, and use your one cannon to kill the hatch. That's the best way to not lose an economic advantage that you may have had.
Yep. So we're gonna see that speed is almost done, and the banding nest is up. So Bunny is gonna be going for a banding bust. It looks like quite a few
And
minerals.
this is just a terrible wall. I know that this is like a gold level wall. You never want to have a pylon part of the wall unless you're trying to bait one of these and you have several sentries, and so you want them to go for the pylon, and then you're gonna force field. But for the most part, never ever make your wall with a
Well,
pylon.
and if you're gonna do that, you need to check his natural. See if he is owning you. If he's not putting drones here, like if there's only 2 or just a very small number, then it's pretty obvious what the Zerg player's doing. So,
Well, but you need something, a mothership core to go out and scout, or a
yep.
sentry, which
Or
all
yeah,
would help you if it's
and
a
even
bailing bus, but they're not.
yeah. Well, even if you do have a pylon part of your wall, you can just use a sentry to block that off. And he tries that, but he doesn't quite get the force field he needs. But
Yeah,
as,
because the area was too big. And the other thing is interesting. This is what if you get a very early mothership core when you're playing greedy, you can use time warp and the photon overcharge, and then let your cannons do the work. So I tend to play very defensive because there's so many ways they can kill you in the early game. I like to have a minimum of um, two cannons and an early mothership core. That basically means that you could, if you time warp that, I mean, you can take out all of those banelings before they hit. And then even if you just have one sentry, you actually block the ramp so they can't go to your main, and it's over.
yeah. All right, so that wraps it up. That was our last replay for the Weekly Rewind, episode number 4. And like I said, if you're interested in joining the team, please let me know. My in-game name is Morrok, Morrok, and my character code is 194. You can also contact us on our website, neswstarcraft.com. Thank you for watching.